right, so remember now we've proven triangles congruent only by side angle side right now. We'll be proving it by a couple of others here. And one of them is side, side, side. So proving triangle congruence by side, 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 theorem 5.8 states that if three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides, should say sides, of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So what they're saying here is if I say triangle ABC, now look at how I went. I went through one, I went through two tick marks, and then I went through three. So I'm going to have to do the same thing here on this one here. One is D, E, there's 2, and 3. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. All right, so we're going to talk about that one. And the other one that they want us to talk about is called side-side angle. So in general, side-side angle is not a valid method to prove triangles are congruent. It only works if you have right triangles, and that's kind of why I put it all there in capital letters. Because when I have that, then I have the hypotenuse leg. Because remember, the hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. So in this case, AB is the hypotenuse, and in the other one, DE is the hypotenuse. All right, so if the hypotenuse in a leg, and make sure it's the same leg that they mark for you. All right, if a hypotenuse and a leg of a right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and a leg of a second triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So on this one here, again, we can say that triangle, let's go a different way. Let's say triangle ACB is congruent to, now notice I went through the one marked 1, then I went through the right angle to the one marked as 0. So I would have to do the same thing on this one here. So I would go triangle DFE. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the biggest thing, is making sure that your triangles are congruent the way you have them written out. All right. So in this only example that I have, now remember, we're not doing proofs right now. So I had to come up with some, and so here's what I came up with. Decide whether the congruence statement is true. Explain your reasoning. All right, and unfortunately, I didn't find one with the hypotenuse leg, at least in the journal that I used of your guys'. And so, and this one here. But again, just follow the pattern and make sure it works. So, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EDC. So now let's look at what I said, A, B, C. So I went through one that was 1, and then I went through another one that was 1. So that makes it a isosceles triangle, correct? So, and then let's go to the other one. So A, B, C, and then they said E, D, C. So if I go through 1 and 1, then we're good. All right, so there it says, so they are. And I went through one side that was marked the same as this side here, and then I have that side marked, so you can say yes. And on this one, it would be by side, side, side. So now just remember stuff like that, okay? On the second one here, they are saying triangle KGH. So KGH. So I'm going through that one there. Marked 2, and then the one marked 1. So if I do the same thing on the other one, then it should be okay. So I'm going to go through HJ. So I went through the one marked 2, and I marked through the one marked 1. And remember, this one right here, I've told you before that a side is equal to itself because it's the reflexive property. So remember that one. So on this one here, again, we can say yes. And again, it's by this side, side, side congruence theorem. But again, you'll see that as we keep going along, you're going to say, okay, yeah, this is by side, angle, side. Yeah, this one's by side, side, side. This one's by angle, side, angle. You'll kind of see as we're going along. Okay? But again, remember, we can't ever have side, side angle unless it's a right angle in there. All right, number 3, UVW is congruent to triangle XYZ. So UVW. So I'm going through the one marked 1, and then I'm going through the one marked 2. So UVW, marked 3, and then we would end our triangle with the one marked 2. So I'm going to have to do the same thing, 1, 3, 2. So if I follow the triangle here, they're saying X, Y, Z, so they're telling me to go X, Y. Well, we're okay there, right? And then we do Y, Z. On the other one, we went through the one marked 3 first, all right? So on this one, according to what they have here, we have to say no, all right? And it said to explain the reasoning. Well, we went ahead and said that UV was congruent to XY. So that one was okay. But then the other one wanted us to go VW, right? And they said that if we did it correctly, then it should have been congruent to YZ. But again, this one was marked 3, this one was marked 2. So those two sides aren't congruent. That's what they're saying. So follow the path of the triangle. That's what I keep reiterating quite a bit. And then finally, the last one, RST. So RST. So I went through the one marked 1. I went through the one marked 2. And then I'm ending with the one marked 3. So if I do the same on the other one, and I should have changed my colors, but I didn't. So RPQ goes through the one marked 1. We're good so far. PQ goes through the one that's marked 2. And then we end up with the one that is marked 3. So again, this one here would be yes. And that again would be, our reasoning would be side, side, side. All right. We're going to learn some more, a couple of others tomorrow too. All right.